Now, speaking of being down to just 6 weeks since Joe Biden's inauguration, we learned about something crazy yesterday. Donald Trump, now that he seems to slowly be accepting, although he won't admit it, privately he seems to be accepting that he lost to Joe Biden. Trump is reportedly planning an absolutely bonkers Inauguration Day stunt for January 20th. Now, as you might remember from past inaugurations, there's this tradition where the incoming president allows the outgoing president, as they leave the White House, to fly wherever they're going on Air Force One. Barack Obama stood there and saw George W. Bush and Laura Bush off on Inauguration Day into Marine One helicopter and over to Air Force One to go, I believe it was back to Texas. Donald Trump likewise saw Barack and Michelle Obama off on Inauguration Day onto the helicopter, bringing them to Air Force One to go. I don't actually remember exactly where they went. In fact, maybe Barack Obama I think he stayed in D.C. for school purposes for his kids, but maybe he went to Chicago initially or something like that. Anyway, even though Donald Trump has still not publicly acknowledged that Joe Biden won, nor has he or anyone else said that he would attend Joe Biden's inauguration on January 20th, Trump is reportedly planning to fly to Florida on Air Force One to do a competing event to Joe Biden's inauguration. Can you imagine anything more corrosive to democracy beyond the things that Donald Trump has been doing for the last month and for the last 4 years? What could be more corrosive to democracy on Inauguration Day for your successor than being the outgoing president and holding a competing rally likely to claim either that he actually won as Joe Biden is being inaugurated, or to announce his candidacy for 2024 as Joe Biden is being inaugurated? And part of the reason that it's corrosive to democracy is that it will continue to push a portion of the country's voters to believe, as they already do, that Joe Biden, as of January 20th, will be an illegitimate president in some way. Now, the truth could not be further from that claim. Joe Biden not only won electorally with the same allegedly landslide victory that Donald Trump claimed for himself in 2016, but instead of losing the popular vote by nearly 3 million, as Trump did in 2016, Joe Biden won by 6, 7, is it maybe even 8 million votes at this point in time? So a former president being dropped off by Air Force One on Inauguration Day for a rally at which he will claim to be the real winner will not exactly project the stability of American democracy. And in fact, it will project much the opposite. Now, rally aside, an outgoing president boycotting the incoming president's inauguration, that alone would be bad enough. Now, I don't think Joe Biden cares. Biden has already said his concern is that it would be meaningful to America for Trump to be there and really see through a fully peaceful transfer of power. Biden doesn't personally care, and I really don't either. The other wrinkle is, again, to go back to the other possibility that Donald Trump announces his 2024 candidacy on Inauguration Day. And these two things really could be the same one. In other words, Trump might fly to a rally in Florida at which he makes this announcement while claiming he actually won and it was stolen from him. Now, whatever happens, what we can be sure of is, number one, Trump won't behave like an adult on Inauguration Day. And two, it will be really embarrassing for the country. And three, his supporters will absolutely love it. Trump will prove once again that there is no floor to his petulant nature. There's no too far for Donald Trump. And of course, part of the whole point would be to take audience away from Joe Biden. Do you think that if Trump does a January 20th rally at the same time as the inauguration, do you think CNN will cover both in a split screen? Will MSNBC cover both in a split screen? I don't know. I think the bigger question is, if Trump does this, does OAN even cover the inauguration? Does Newsmax even cover the fact that there's a new president being sworn in? Or do they only cover Trump's bizarre rally? We'll eventually find out what Trump is doing. We can rest easy knowing that whatever the hell he's doing at noon on January 20th, he will no longer be doing it as president. And the other story that we're hearing is that Donald Trump does indeed plan to go down to Florida to his resort for Christmas. And there are rumors, which we've heard for weeks now, there are rumors that Trump will never come back to the White House, that Trump is abandoning the White House at Christmas time and won't even come back, which would make irrelevant this entire idea of flying out on Air Force One, might still hold the rally on Inauguration Day. Needless to say, the next 6 weeks are going to be completely wacky. What if you could read 10 books in just one sitting? That's exactly what one of my favorite apps lets you do. It's called Blinkist, and what they do is take thousands of popular nonfiction books. They condense them down into text or audio that you can consume in 15 minutes. Blinkist makes sure that you're getting all of the important core insights from each book. So it's perfect for exploring a book you otherwise wouldn't have time for. If there's a full book you're thinking about buying, you can use Blinkist to get a sample first. Just think how much you can enrich yourself by being able to soak up an entire nonfiction book in just 15 minutes. I recently checked out the book Podcast Marketing Strategy by Daniel Rolls and Kieran Rogers, and so useful, so particularly applicable to what I'm doing. Really recommend it. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.